Welcome back, everyone, to Standard on Arena with me, Autumn, aka Rainy the Witch. Today, playing some more Battlecry. I've been really enjoying this deck on stream. Kind of took ideas from a few different lists I saw. Just trying out some cards and seeing what we like in this deck. Of course, Battlecry is a deck all about Temur Battlecrier and Outcaster Trailblazer. These cards combine together pretty phenomenally. Battlecry makes your spells cheap. Trailblazer makes your spells draw cards. If they're both in play together, your spells will be very cheap and draw you lots of cards. Pretty phenomenal. Then you can often kill in the same turn with a Devastating Onslaught when you draw into one. Make a lot of hasty critters, make your opponents very sad. Deck's been performing pretty nicely for us. Today we're trying out Roaming Throne and Anticausal Vestige, which are a package we weren't playing yesterday, but it's pretty popular in these decks. Trying out main deck Spectral Denials is a nice piece of interaction that helps some of the tougher matchups. And also trying out Quantum Riddler, because it's one of the best 4-power creatures in the format. It'd be kind of rude not to try out the Quantum Riddler. Let's give this deck a spin and see how this build of Temur Battlecrier performs for us. Deeply strange. Oh, it's Disney, I guess. Oh, it's specifically Spider. What? That makes it even stranger. Yeah, the rights are so weirdly divided. I guess like 3 different film companies have released Spider-Man films, right? Oh, these are both so good. I definitely want to keep the Trailblazer. Do I actually want this Worldwagon? I kind of want to keep it just to ensure I draw a spell off this Esper. Oh no, my Llanowar Elf. What will I do about this Llanowar Elf? My heart is torn asunder by this cruel act of violence. Anyway. What does Jeskai Roaring Furnace mean? Some pixie deck? Or do they just really want a Roaring Furnace in their control deck for some reason? I assume it's a pixie deck, right? I'll tech Vivi of Roaring Furnace. That doesn't explain the way. Yeah, Riddler kind of makes Sworn completely unnecessary, right? I agree. I loved this card specifically with Talonite big enough. RIP. Oops, all Llanowar Elves. Am I casting both, or am I getting a map in play is the real question. Or cracking a map is the real question. Kind of want to crack one map. Is that terrible? It'd be really nice to find a creature I can cast with this Trailblazer. Hey, that qualifies. Good with Analyze and Torch. True. Otter's fans have logged on. Okay, they are just Jeskai control. 4 stock ups aren't enough. You need that steaming sauna. I'm so worried I'm going to cast all this nonsense and then they're going to cast a sweeper. I don't feel like I'm allowed to not cast my nonsense. Maybe I am. I can map and... Makes it so telegraphed though, the Trailblazer. Oh, I guess I now lose the roaming firm when I swing. That's sad. I should have, what I should do there is cast Elf Crew, attack, and then map afterwards, I guess. So I actually get to control the top card that way, instead of just having a 2/2. Alright. You don't actually know about this Surrak, unfortunately. Ooh, a roaming throne. I really want to attack with these elves. So I guess I cast the Surrak. Get to draw a card if they interact with any of my stuff. Get to threaten lethal. Just they can specifically kill the Worldwagon in response to not give me a card, but kind of a narrow thing to answer. They need a Abrade. Alright. What do they have to get out of this? Like, apparently stone nothing. Classic Jeskai control. Jeskai control continuing to be the finest deck the world has ever seen. Do I keep a bounce off? Do I bring in like Pawpatch? Maybe. Kills Shiko, I don't know, kills the stupid flyer too. I don't see much reason for a null, but maybe I'm forgetting something. Jeskai control isn't about winning, it's about casting as many stock ups as possible. Indeed. Indeed. I'm always slightly baffled whenever I see Jeskai instead of blue-white. Not that blue-white's like desperately good, but I don't really know what red adds. Blue-white just seems so clean to me. Lightning Helix is a hell of a drug. Yeah, I love paying 6 life to my land so I can gain 3 life of my Lightning Helix. Sorry. I know you know this. I just... Oh my god, Jeskai control players. Red adds fairness, it's so true. I love sorcery speed removal spells that are dependent on the game going well in order to have text. It has a one-shot land. Alright, true. Paying 6 life to your lands is somewhat challenging in that deck. Am I ever allowed to keep this? I mean, this matchup is slow as hell. And Spectral Denial seems like a very important card to have at some point in the game. Now is the best possible draw. Love to rip a Worldwagon off the top. Could also just Spectral as stock up. Potentially. I actually kind of want to not warp this Riddler. I think Spectral Denialing stock up would be so hilarious. Oh, come on, opponent. Also, I think this card, I feel like this card's cycling is not terribly necessary right now. I could jam the wagon into their counter and make them feel smart. Or I could just plot this, I suppose. Surrak. It's a nice one. I feel like jamming the Trailblazer might be a bit aggro. I think if this gets countered, I don't super care. Just clears the card out their hand. If it resolves, I'm very happy. So, get my 2-for-1. Oh, it gets this. If they don't tie bind it, it gets the sneak Worldwagon into play. Which is actually pretty phenomenal. Heck yeah, love this. Find another blue source. That was an obscene turn for us. How did we get away with that? Just don't know. Surrak crew the wagon, maybe? Play a tap land. Can't stop all these 2-for-1s. Oh, I should have played a land pre-combat. I was kind of wondering if I was meant to play tapped or untapped. Kind of deliberated a bit too long. Like, there's a world where having Spectral open for X equals 2 is actually pretty nice, but I'd really like to have an untapped land next turn, I think. I can do something more threatening, potentially. I guess if they ever tap out, I just kind of kill them. So they're not really allowed to cast an Elspeth anyway. Resolves. It's a good card. It's a good card, but now they might die. Yeah, I assume I just go for it, right? Cast Trailblazer. Make blue, I guess. Cast Battlecrier. Draw cards. I go for Helix on Battlecrier. We get to animate the wagon. Oh, we get to do this for 6 for 1 mana. That's so silly. Not that it matters, but you know, it's very cute, and that's nice. So we name human. Oh, they have another. Oh, they have an Annul. That's such a good Annul, actually. Huh. That's kind of insane. I guess it's not guaranteed we kill them anymore. Merely somewhat likely. Hmm. I guess now it's much less likely, but I can set up a bunch of resources. I guess they get to sweeper me. I can put them in range of like a single wagon attack being lethal. It's pretty nice. Oh, we drew the Onslaught. They were gonna die. Excellent news. Excellent, excellent. We actually did have lethal. Even if we didn't need it, thanks to opponent's gracious scoop. Maybe this mana base is kind of fake. Be very sad if that's the case, because Worldwagon is such a nice card in theory, but like, I guess if we'd had more blue mana that game, I would have felt more reasonable about developing my board at some point. Uh-oh. Well, card is terrifying. Probably gonna have to tap out as well with this Worldwagon. Just to get something going. Hope they don't kill me. If they don't kill me, I do have a pretty nice turn next turn. Okay. I mean, now we can kind of answer to an extent. And they haven't put a Cauldron in play. Right, so I should definitely warp this Vestige. I should definitely have bounce off open, I suppose. I wonder if they're gonna trade here. I'd be pretty thrilled if they do, so I guess I'm just gonna let it happen. They do not make sense. Roaming Throne. I think I just want the Worldwagon. Hold open this bounce off. They don't normally main deck Pierce in the Artist's Talent versions. Guess it lets them Winter Knight really easily. Doesn't have a creature type. Wait, doesn't it? That's crazy. Oh no. Okay, okay. That's not a VV. Thank goodness. Or maybe I was meant to bounce already to stop this Winter Knight from happening, huh? Oh, please just don't find a VV. That's a VV. Alright. Bounce this 10-10, I suppose. To the extent to which it's gonna save us. How does this Battlecrier deck always feel so terrifying when I play against it? And yet when you play it, it's so clunky. It just does nothing until turn 3 if you don't have Llanowar Elves. It's kind of rough. I guess that was part of the idea of the Orlok version that we were playing yesterday. Which I do think felt like pretty substantially better, but yeah, he only plays Esper Origins, and Esper Origins isn't really a play, right? It doesn't impact the board at all. Or do much of anything. It even puts you down a card a lot of the time. I could probably just scoop, right? Not entirely sure why I'm letting them play it out. Bring in Annuls. Bring in Heritages. Bring in the Vacuum, I guess. Take out these Spectrals. Take out these Origins against the Cauldron deck. Oh my god, Sophia. Quantum Riddler's felt really disappointing in this deck. I was expecting it to be kind of nice. But it actually just doesn't really do anything. Your hand doesn't really end up empty very often. And warping it doesn't impact the board, which is like pretty meaningfully a problem in this deck. Well, I believe I'm obligated to keep this and hope that we draw a third land. There's the Mako. Pretty nice card. Please give me a third land next turn, deck. Please. Please. I beg of thee. Alright, we successfully countered the single best card in that deck, so that's nice. Best card is crazy. Artist's Talent is definitely like the Artist's Talent it builds. The game where you have Artist's Talent on turn 2, you can never lose. And the games where you don't, the deck's just like kind of mid. Is my opinion. Maybe that's a strong stance to take. Who could say? Let's just cast this and hope to get really lucky. Kind of like warping the Vestige though. I guess I could have had blue mana open if I was sensible. Didn't really think of that. We do this. Make a blue. Now do I fire it off to set them so far behind? The Mako being banned, I think Artist's Talent should be banned. Artist's Talent does go crazy, but it definitely should not be banned. Oh my god. I'm being misquoted. Oh, we're certainly not going to save them. So I don't actually have lethal, which is like a slight issue, but also they might kill me next time. Many such problems. I guess we should just draw a million. Maybe we get lucky and hit an Abrade. Let's see. Do I want to warp Riddler and draw 4, or do I want to play a Llanowar Elf? I think despite me drawing many cards, my hand still needs help, so I guess I'm drawing 4. How did you know, Sophia? Sadly, it was only drawing 4 off the Trailblazers because they don't see themselves, they only see each other. My hand is so awful. I've drawn 8 cards this turn. Oh my god. Alright, this is probably the last time we ever play this deck on stream, chat. I'm sorry to say. I have soundly talked myself out of it. Hey, we won. They didn't know how bad my hand was. They could still have won that game. They could still have won that one. I'm pretty sure. I guess when you think about it, Battlecrier is like an A plus B combo deck. But if you draw your A plus B, you still need to draw a bunch of other things and have things line up well. Without Battlecrier and Trailblazer together, your deck sucks. When you draw them together, you better hope the rest of your cards are also good. That is so bad. I guess they were also multi-5. Maybe their multi-5 is worse than ours. Alright. I mean, this hand is now legitimately almost reasonable. Oh boy. Get rid of this VV. Spend this Trailblazer. Uh-oh. Oh my god. So just casting VV's plan is weirdly terrifying right now. New to standard, and my gameplays, and you're playing a list of otters like on YouTube. I honestly haven't played a huge amount of Stormsplitter. My like sneaking suspicion is that Stormsplitter's probably the better deck. Just because it seems much better against VV decks. I think if VV wasn't the deck to beat, I would probably prefer Valley Floodcaller against like the field at large. But I think Floodcaller's VV matchup is a little rough. Whereas I think Stormsplit is like probably fine-ish against them. Just because it can combo a lot faster. Because part of the problem about Floodcaller in the matchup is just it's so hard to play the long game. And they're somewhat good at interacting with your combo. Is it greedy to hit this Winter Knight from the yard? It might be. I think we really need to draw a card though if we're gonna get anything of our own going, and I think we kind of can't beat a huge amount here. I think this makes sense. God, if they don't have Torch, maybe be fine, but it felt like they had Torch last turn, and I can't imagine that's changed. But their VV's on 2 counters. It's like if I don't cast anything, they're just gonna take over the game next turn. I think I have to go for it and just hope they don't have Torch. And if they have Torch, I lose. Please have mercy, opponent. They had the card that they were heavily telegraphing they had and that we could never beat. Unfortunate. Interesting. They only get to draw 8 cards to look for an answer to the situation. It's not that many. Lethal on the Crackback. believe the actual answer is they're gonna kill me. I don't think there will be a crackback, sadly. I wish to declare, I think this Battlecrier deck is a scam. No more Battlecrier on the stream. Battlecrier has been axed from the schedule.